walk the streets with my swagger on, supernatural, facing 1,000,000 opponents, and my role is to act alone. Lights, camera when the action's on. Where I roam is a battle zone, a vigilante in the catacombs. But I rock with a hot shot like a clock when it's cocked and popped and the lead is gone. People say that my head is gone, but it's them same people with need of my help when I'm heading home in life. They say that everybody got a purpose, so I roam the city streets like faulty cellular service. The hot shot, sharpshooter, superhero, destined to shine like light through the dark and evil. I fight for what's right in the hearts of people and try to open y'all eyes, cause it's hard to see truth. You ever feel like everybody's the same, but you different? That's when you know you're here to make a difference. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down.
Comes a new challenger!
What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm Mike Watson, aka Most Epic. That is the moniker of the most enthusiastic person in comics. I'm your host today on another exclusive edition of Chat and Draw. Episode, by the way, 265. That's crazy. 265 episodes of this. And I still have a voice. But this is the third and final part to our exclusive look at the Hospice series, currently on Kickstarter right now. We have 6 projects. Let me see here. Yeah, we're actually 110 minutes there and literally an hour. So by the time this show is over, 2 of our projects will be funded and completed on Kickstarter. You have 1 hour left to get at these projects before they go. The reason I'm saying that is because there are some things with all of our Kickstarters that connect them all together that you want to get, so you get the whole series. So if you are a collector who likes to get all the parts and all the pieces and all the extra swag that brings all of us together like Voltron, you're going to want to back these campaigns before they end. Travis's campaign wraps up in 58 minutes. And that is No Freedom in Texas, and Hospice. One Damn Good Thing from Russell wraps up in 109 minutes. I'm going to put in the chat. Let's see here. This is One Damned Good Thing. Bam, we got that in there. And then we got No Freedom in Texas. So we got No Freedom. All right. So we got both of those up there. Like I said, they're ending in around about an hour. If you want to get included in everything, back both those campaigns. If you've already backed them, thank you. Share them out. Now, I'll talk about the rest of them after I get you caught up through some FSK Freestyle Comics news. We just came back from Cincinnati Comic Expo, and what a show. What a show it was. Shout out to Cincinnati Comic Expo. Shout out to the city of Cincinnati. Shout out to all the amazing creators we got to hang out with. That show was amazing. And somehow, I don't know how, we got our same 2 tables from last year. So, Artist Alley coordinator, thank you. Because our spot was dope last year, and it was dope again this year. We crushed it. We did way better than we did last year. And last year, we had a good year. Cincinnati, thank you very much. Expo, great show. Shout out to Fee, aka our Vigilant cosplayer, Tony, Mr. Clapper, Mr. 5 Star right there. Shout out to Ryan Robinson, who came down, helped us all out, did an incredible job. Big ups to Sean Mack, who came down in the building. And worked the table. It's been a while since we've seen Sean, and he's slowly stepping his foot back into the comic business. And he came down, he hung out with us all weekend, and it was a blast. Shout Vic D came down on Saturday. Got to hang out with him for a little bit. Stole some art from him. He's my brother. I can do that. Don't worry about the 10 calories of any of that. But yeah, we had a great show. Looking forward to Cincinnati Comic Expo next year. Hoping to get more space so we can do it even bigger. This weekend we have Cartoon Crossroads happening in Columbus, Ohio. We will be there. And that's this weekend, so come check us out. We have a table up there. We're going to be out there with the books and all the good jazz that we normally bring, and all the good times. Then we have FSCon, which is going to happen November 3rd through the 5th. You need to be there. That is going to be happening virtual, and that is going to be happening in person at Focus Academy. Lots of good stuff going on with that. More details as we get closer to that. But the event page is happening, is live for it. So get on that for all the latest updates. And we'll be closing out our year of travel, still in Columbus, which is great. I don't like driving, at GalaxyCon Columbus. We are guests there. We're invited there and looking forward to it. GalaxyCon puts on a damn good show, and expect lots of panels from me. The Good Times, the Prince. I think Ryan Robinson and I are doing 2 more collaborations for that show. And in December, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, we will have Zero event number 1 at GalaxyCon Columbus. Oh my goodness. I know y'all been waiting for that. But it's coming, y'all. It's coming. Thanks for y'all's patience. We've been giving out a lot of content, and I hope that's been keeping you guys on the bus with us. We appreciate all the support that we've gotten from everybody. I also appreciate the indie community. This weekend, not that my eyes were closed to it, but a couple fellas in the indie community really opened me up some more and just like let me, re-understand how deep this indie community goes through and how supportive they are. And that's not just the audience and fans, but I'm talking about the creators, man. So shout out to them. Had a great weekend. I hung out with Kaylin Smith, Adam Fields, Henri, Ted Sakura, Rodney, Sean Fournay, Kivas from Twisted Metal. Our scavenger hunt went really good. We had a good time this weekend, man. So yeah, our hospice Kickstarter is still going good. And actually we're going to talk about our hospice Kickstarter, but I got another hospice Kickstarter because 2 for conversation is needed at minimum. Maybe not so much, but we'll say that here. And we're going to bring out our guests in normal chat and jaw fashion.
Wait a second. A new opponent has interrupted the tournament.
What's up, David? How are you?
Might help to unmute. Great. How are you?
Doing good. We got the link for your Kickstarter in there. And man, I'm going to tell you, between me, you, and everyone in the chat, I was racing you, David, and you fucking smoked me. I launched my Kickstarter an hour earlier than David. I didn't know when he was going to race his I didn't know when he was going to launch his Kickstarter. So it wasn't a race until I was like, it was an hour later and he launched his. I was like, oh shoot, he's catching up. And I'm like, all right, let's go, baby. Let's go. It's dude blew past us. We're making good progress now. I'm not angry at that or anything like that. We were getting pledges and all types of stuff. David has gone and he has left the building, everybody. His Kickstarter's doing phenomenal. Why don't you tell us about it, David?
Well, yeah, I mean, so ours is a little different. We basically, as everybody knows, Travis gave us the prompt of hospice with the the hospice being for removing a demon from someone at their end of life instead of easing someone through their transition to death. This, for my campaign, I actually worked backwards where I picked a demon and then wrote the story based on that. And we ended up with the story about Sarah, who's an exotic dancer who doesn't really know what's going on with her, but everywhere she goes, she gets in trouble. And in this story, Hospice has tracked her down, and we find out what happens from there, basically. I can't hear you, Mike.
Pesky mute button. So how did you come up with this story?
Actually, it was literally I went around looking for demons in actual mythology. This one goes all the way back to Mesopotamian mythology, and based on what the demon did is how I picked the character to go with it. And I just kind of built the story off of that. And, with Travis giving us that prompt, it gives you kind of an idea where you have to end up at least.
Yeah.
So it was a fun story to tell. I know it was one of those where I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then when I finally got there, I was like, all right, yep, this is good. And basically I ran through it pretty quick, laying it out and getting the story together.
All right. So we are seeing on this campaign, this one's not safe for work. So the sexy art continues. I did a Heart Eater last week on our show. What made you go in that direction?
Honestly, the main character being an exotic dancer was part of it. I didn't know how into it the interior artist would go, but the first cover I got back from one of my artists, it was nude, and I didn't even ask for it. So I was like,
really?
yeah. So she just did that on her own based on inspiration from the character, the script, the character description and everything. So I was like, all right, well, if the other artists are willing to do it, then we might as well just offer it because I know people seem to like that. So we went with it, and I asked the group if everybody was cool with it, and they were all in for it. So otherwise, if you guys had said no, I would have gone completely clean. It would have been safe for work.
Safe for work. Facebook user, are you Brad? I know Brad has been backing all of our campaigns for this. But yeah, so this is really cool, man. So this is a completely new character, right?
Yes. Yep.
How? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope. I was just agreeing. Yes, new character, never before seen anywhere.
All right, so let's talk about your creative process, man. How long did it take to create this character, like from thought to final character design? As I see, you have some character turnarounds of this character.
Pretty much it happens for me fairly quick once I have the idea come, but I don't know how your process is, but a lot of times when I get the seed of an idea, it kicks around in my brain for a while, and I'm like, you can't stop thinking about it. You'll eventually put something down on paper, but I try to keep it as something I'm developing for, a week at least before I ever write anything down. Because I heard somewhere once that if an idea doesn't stick with you, it probably wasn't worth it to begin with.
Oh, okay. I have heard that.
So,
okay.
Yep, this one, but this one was a lot quicker than usual. It might have been too because of us having the deadlines. Generally, when when you're starting a new idea, you don't have that hard deadline. And Travis gave us over a year, but I still managed to push it.
Excellent. All right. Whew. Okay. So let me see here. So did you give the artist free reign on all the cover design ideas, or did you have any input on that, on where he started from?
For the covers, I generally, when I do a script for a comic, I'm pretty detailed in my layouts and what I want. When it comes to the covers, I typically give the artist as much reference material as possible, but I don't tell them what to do unless very, very rarely I'll have some idea that I want for a cover, but usually I like the artist to take the character, take the story, give me their interpretation, and just have fun with it. And usually that leads to them having more fun with it because they're not confined and they're not put in a box.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So what about this project appealed to you when Travis pitched it to you?
I think that the thing that appealed to a lot of us was seeing how it would go doing 6 interrelated but separate campaigns. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of people watching, that was also what they were more curious than anything about. It, it becomes an event, a spectacle, something, you try to get everybody hyped about coming on board, seeing what we're all about. Travis likened it to Silvercoin, the different creators with the same theme. So I was really looking forward to, and now we've seen that all of, every single campaign funded, and
Yeah,
they all funded rather quickly.
they did. They did. Think yours did it in about 7 or 6 hours. Mine did it in 10.
Hmm.
I think the vast majority, except for two, did it in a day,
Yep.
but the other two did it on the second day.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think I think as the campaigns dropped, more people realized, oh shit, this is real. They really are doing this.
Hmm.
And to my awareness, I've never seen anyone do a project like this on Kickstarter before.
Yeah, no, and that was what kind of appealed about it. Even if it, we fell flat on our faces, at least we tried something different.
Mm-hmm. Oh, oh.
I'm looking at this drawing you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying. Look, dude, you got some really, really amazing artists on this thing. So I'm just trying to keep it on the same level as them. They have turned in
Yeah.
some beautiful pieces.
And you can see from that, what I try to do is none of their styles are the same.
Yeah.
I always try to mix it up. I was really happy. Freddie did the cover and he's doing the interiors, and his interiors are way different than what he does for me on the covers too. But I had already seen this was a style of art that he loves to just share all the time, that he's doing
Hmm.
for the interiors. And I actually messaged him based on that. And I said, hey, do you want to do interiors for this book in the style that you post all the time? And he had never done them before, but he was really excited. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I shared the story with him, and he was 100% in right away.
Awesome. So once you had your character worked out, and we're talking about like how much time did you spend on your script?
So I do a different type of scripting process. I actually I'll go a paragraph, then I go a full page synopsis, and depending if it's a multi-issue series or if it's just one issue, I'll do a treatment where I, go full length within prose and describe what's going to happen. Then
Mm-hmm.
I actually take it into Microsoft Excel and lay the pages down there, left, right, 1 through
Oh,
24.
okay.
And then I say what the action is going to be for that page. So by the time I've actually gone to scripting it for the artist, I'm in like my 4th draft.
Wow. All right.
So it's pretty efficient there, because by the time I'm doing the scripting, laying out the panels and everything on the page, I usually only have to go back and fix typos and change dialogue because I already have laid out everything. But for this one, that first part probably took a month just because of, other things going on. And then when I did the script, I blew through it really quick, probably in, 3 or 4 days.
Uh-huh.
Look at the shoes.
So what was the most important thing that you wanted to get out of this collaboration with everyone?
I think it was an interesting and fun experiment to see if we could get our audiences to translate over to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know some creators see it as a competition, but really I've always seen it as we're all in this together. The
Yeah.
rising tides, raises all ship thing. So the all of us do the backer updates where we share each other's campaigns usually while we're live, but this is a completely different thing where we're actually interconnected. We're trying to bring a universe to people, and we're seeing what we can do with it. And I think that's been a lot of fun. And I'm seeing new names. I'm sure you're seeing new names. And
Mhm.
a lot of my backers, I follow them on Kickstarter, and their friends and family I follow on Kickstarter. So you see when they back things, and I'm seeing names I know from my campaigns backing other people, which is what I was really hoping would happen with this.
Yeah, I had a couple people at the show come over to the table and be like, "You're part of hospice, right?" I just backed that.
Nice.
I was like, "That's what's up, man." That's is one of my favorite things to see at a show is that people who are backing our campaigns
Mhm.
find us.
Yeah, no, one of the wildest things it shows is when someone comes up and knows your books and your name and everything, and you've never interacted with them before. That's the one that always still blows me away, even though it happens all the time. It's like, how do you know me?
Yeah, it's very cool stuff. Like I even had a few people come in and say, "I watch your chat and draw show, and I saw you were here, so I had to come up here and get books from you." And I was like, "So this thing is actually working. This thing we call social media."
Yep. In the comments, William Pace asked if I'm related to John Byrne. I'm related to a John Byrne, but not the one you're thinking of. My grandfather did not write X-Men, unfortunately.
Mm. All right, all right. Hospice is a huge success. Surprise of 2023. I felt like hospice was going to be successful to some degree, no matter what. Like it's just the scales, and for me, the success that I really want to get from it is the backer count. We normally always hit our goal, but our backers are normal. It's a low number of backers. So we've already hit, so I'm not concerned about the dollar amount anymore. Obviously, I just want to hit that goal, but what I really want is 200, 250 on the backers because it's the numbers of people that are actually getting the book. That's important. That's the calling for me. And then when I when Travis approached me with it, and he tells me who's all involved, you, Jamie, him, Russell, Frank, and I'm like, oh shit, like that is a super creative, stellar crowd of creatives, and they do things completely different from the way I do things. So also, this is a learning venture for me, taking notes and things.
Yeah, no, I was glad that I actually was familiar with everyone
Mhm.
when he listed the people who were going to be involved.
Let's see here. What is your favorite part of script writing? Or let me rephrase that. What is your favorite part about making the comic in general?
I think the scripting, it's probably the step before that when I'm laying out how everything's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm pretty good at dialogue. So I do enjoy writing dialogue because every character needs to have their own voice. So I kind of step into that character's mindset when I'm speaking as them on the page.
Yeah.
So I think I have some empathetic qualities. So typically, if my characters are going through it, I'm going through it with them.
Do you have to be in that type of mood to write?
I don't
Or
know.
is
I
it
don't
just a
have
thing that
to, but
happens?
I typically get there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a novel years ago, and there's a scene with one of the characters' wives dying, and like I had to put down the laptop because I was getting a little too worked up
Mm,
because I was literally putting myself in his shoes as I was writing it, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is brutal. So yeah, I put the computer away for a little while before I went and finished the scene.
okay. All right. So I've pegged on. That is, I can relate to that because the newest issue of Hot Shot that I just got through penciling probably took me the longest to pencil because it's a story about my mom and the abuse she suffered when I was a younger kid, and I have unresolved issues with those because I was a little kid and I witnessed it. And so I would be drawing pages and I would have to completely break from it. Like Lori Foster's inking it, and she would message me. She was like, dude, these pages are so good, but at the same time, all I want to do is fucking hug you right now. I'm like, I appreciate that because like I would like you said, I would have to step away from them for a few days before I can build up that tolerance to go back in.
Yep. No, I've had Francesca and Joel both tell me that some of the pages for Steak that I've sent them, they were like holding back tears while they were writing or doing their part. Francesca drawing it and Joel lettering it. So definitely, and when I'm writing, I try to get to that place, because you want your audience to feel. I mean, that's more than anything else, right? That's what we want.
Absolutely. That is my I don't think obviously there's different levels of storytelling. There is room for all of it. But I want my my audience to be attached to my characters. I want you to want the character to win or want the character to lose. And I don't think you can do that unless you relate to the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even my girlfriend, she read one of the issues of Steak Presents Jessamy, and a baby dies, and she's still 6 months later, she gives me shit about it. She's like, how could you kill the baby? How could you do that to those parents? I was like, it's part of the story. It had to happen. It's a plot element.
Right.
I said, yeah, I have to put them through it so they can come out on the other side.
Yeah, one of the editors for one of those big two reviewed my stuff and said, you always want to be able to put your character in the worst possible situation and then write them out of it.
Yep.
I personally suck at that.
Well, I mean, if you're writing a scene, just think to yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen right now? And then do something even worse than that.
Even worse. Oh, I think that's great. So, now I'll get into this because, like, for me, when I'm drawing stuff, I always end up liking kind of like the stuff that people don't like about drawing. Like, I love drawing hands, so I'm always trying to find a way to do some really ridiculous position hands or whatnot because I just love drawing it. Other people are like, I fucking hate drawing hands. I'm going simple as hell. Is there something about your writing that you love to do that may not be something that's, kicking it with everybody else?
I think a lot of people do have problems with dialogue. And to me, I always feel like that's my strong suit.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times when I edit people, I often offer to help them make I don't know if you've experienced it, but I feel like a lot of dialogue in comics feels very wooden. And the different characters don't necessarily have different voices.
Yeah.
So, if you put a word balloon on a page and didn't point it to someone's mouth, you should be able to know based on the characters who might be talking like that.
Yes. That's funny you said. That's something that we've been discussing at my day job. I do art for a company, and we're talking about character voices and how these characters need to sound individualized so you will know that or how they would answer.
Yep.
B, thank you. I'm trying, man. I use this show as practice. 265 illustrations. John said, I'm just glad you did the depowered cover first so I could tell Travis we work together. Respect, John. I can respect that. Mike makes me feel it in my wallet too. Double pull on the feels. Apologies. Amen. That's real cool. And they want to know, what else do you have in your portfolio work, David?
Well, I'm probably best known for Steak. which is my vampire comic that we've got 6 issues of the regular series and 3 of the spin-off Stake Presents Jessamy. The first 6 issues came out through Scout, and we have a trade paperback that you can get pretty much anywhere because it's distributed through Simon & Schuster. My first series was a book called The Couch that was about a down-and-out therapist who accidentally becomes the psychiatrist to superheroes. It's a little satirical, a little funny, but also deals with some of the mental health issues that heroes might have.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year I had a one-shot called Canceled that came out through Black Caravan at Scout that did very well. I was only going to be one shot, but it did so well that I actually am doing a mini series based off the main character now. And then my other one that I haven't really put out there much is Spy Dear Man, which is imagine Bambi grew up to be James Bond.
Real. All right. That's different. Let's see here. All right. They just asked, is it Stake from the Scout Publishing Company?
Yes. Yep, that's the one.
There you go. I wonder.
So you're gonna have this fully colored, right, tonight?
Not at this rate. Not at this rate. I'm hoping to get the inks done tonight. But that's another thing I like that's challenging about the show. I always want to match the bar that the creator brings on the show. Like when I look at their work and I see what they have, and I'm like, fuck, they got a nice artist. I gotta roll up my sleeves. I gotta dig in.
Oh, I think you're doing great.
Thank you. Well, actually, we're at the half an hour mark. So we're gonna show. What up, Maurice? How you doing? We're at the half an hour mark, so we're gonna show a trailer from my version of Hospice, which is called Concussion. If you're in the mixed martial arts, this is gonna be. And yes, I know I've told you lots of times I don't do horror, but yes, I am part of this horror universe, and this book does have horror in it. All right, it's just we've got a little bit of punching too, so check it out.
Horror and punching.
All right. So a little information on that one. I do an internship with Freestyle Comics, so we have been getting our interns from the Art Academy of Cincinnati and the Columbus College of Art and Design. And just in time for this project, we started an internship class. And normally we have like 3 sections of work that our interns do, which is social media, events, and comic books, and making a comic book. So this kind of took up a majority of their time. This is the first book that our interns have put out. The only vet that we have on this book is Stephanie Menard. She did the writing for us. And if you guys remember who she is, she's also the series writer for Vigilance, but she is a great writer. She's very good at psychotic, mental, and voices and things like that, and the human voice. I love Stephanie's work, so I thought she'd be a great fit for this. But the rest of the book has been put on by these interns, some of them who have now graduated from college and some still in college. putting their hand on here. And we were very excited about them doing it. We wanted a very unique look, something that looks completely different from what we do at FSK, and even with the way that we colored the book, changing that up to blues and red monotone type of things to help work in the atmosphere. So when you guys get that, I hope you enjoy it. Here. All right, I'm about to go in. I really enjoy drawing faces. I'm trying to save that for last, but her face is fucking calling me. Like, I want to get in there and start inking it. But what are some of your inspirations, David? Like, what is your actual comic book origin story?
Oh, that's a tough one. But my original comic that I ever actually wrote was when I was 11 years old. I wrote a full, like, 8-page, hand-drawn, lettered everything for a school project when I was in 4th grade. That was called Super Simon and Ralphie, and they fought Dr. Claw. So
All right.
it was my cat and one of my classmates' cats were superheroes. But that was obviously 30 years ago. So between then and now, I actually spent a lot of time writing prose and poetry and screenplays during high school and after high school. My goal was to be a screenwriter. And it turns out that without being in Hollywood, it's a lot harder to sell screenplays. And when I decided to try to make one, when I did the budgeting, it was going to be a couple $1 million. So I actually turned that into a novel. And then my next project that I wanted to work on would have been best suited as a comic. So despite having read and collected comics most of my life, I had never tried to write one.
Okay.
So I spent probably 3 to 6 months just downloading and reading a ton of different script formats. I read Bendis's book, Scott McCloud's book, just trying to understand what you're doing when you're actually, laying out, when you're writing a comic, page turns, what's between the panels, things like that.
Right.
Understanding layouts. So that was going on 6 years ago. And that was the couch that I set out to do that with. And I actually hired an artist to do the lettering, coloring, and all the ink or the line art. And we did 4 issues together, and I learned so much in the year it took to do those 4 issues. And everything else from there is history. And I moved on to Stake and the other series, and here we are today.
Awesome. B, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. I love hearing creators' story. I like to know where people come from and how they got to where they are. It's always interesting to hear that information.
Yes. How did you get into it? Has anyone ever asked you on your show?
I've gotten into a couple times, but you never know who's watching, so it's no problem saying it again. Mine was based off of losing a friend. My best friend liked comic books, and I thought they were stupid. And we got into a little argument not an argument, but disagreement about why didn't he know that I didn't like comic books? And I'm like, they're stupid, Tom. Why would I bring up something that's stupid? And he vowed or said that we can't be friends if you don't like comic books. I'm going to bring a stack of books into school tomorrow for you to read. And if you can't find a comic that you like, we can't be friends. I'm like, are you serious, my dude? Are you serious? And he was. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the damn day. Did not talk to me, moved to the other side of the classroom. Came back to school the next day. I saw Tom outside. He shoved a bunch of stack of comic books in my chest and kept walking. Didn't say nothing. So I go home and I'm nervous. And I'm about to lose my one of my only friends here. And I'm reading through these books and I'm like, dude, I can't. I don't see anything I fucking like. I don't like any of this stuff. Until I got to X-Men number 17 and fell in love with Wolverine and the X-Men and I've been on board since then. Tom and I started our first comic book company in 6th grade. We were rewriting our own X-Men stories and selling the books during lunch period. And I wanted to make comic books ever since.
So it could be a thanks to him or it's his fault, depending how you want to look at it.
Uh, Based off of my history in comics, he gets both of them.
There you go. Yep. You have to love comics to be in it.
Yes. Yes, you do. It is not for I mean, if you're trying to do this stuff and make a career out of it and do like there are people that just say, well, I just want to make a book just to make a book, and they don't sell it or anything. They just do it, which is great for them. But to be out here trying to travel to conventions, promotions, Kickstarters, websites, working with different creators and things like that, you have to really have a love for this to do it, because it can be very infuriating
and exhausting.
Yeah.
I took most of the year off from shows because of the last 4 years I had done so many, and I was just I had long COVID for the majority of or the first half of 2022, and then did a bunch of cross country traveling for shows, and I was just like, I can't do that this year. I gotta physically take care of my body and
Right.
recharge mentally.
I understand that. It's funny that you say that. A year ago to this show, Cincinnati Comic Con, last year, it had been a couple weeks before the show. I got out of the hospital because I was in the hospital for COVID, and had this show planned. And I was exhausted. Even though I didn't have COVID anymore, I was having coughing fits still. I was barely staying awake at the table, and I was still trying to sell books and stuff like that. And one of my buddy Tony Clapper was like we did it this year, and I went out there and I do what's called the hype line, which means so I do these trivia games and I freestyle for the line out there and give them out free prizes. I'm pitching and selling them up on my feet, and Tony's like, "You remember this time last year, man? You were having coughing fits. You couldn't get up. You were falling asleep at the con table. And look at how much progress you've made now." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't. I had not thought about that." And I was like, "That's a thing. That was a real thing." You don't realize how much work a convention is until you can't do the things that you normally do.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, my first MegaCon that I tabled at, I had the flu the whole weekend. Well, I had a great time meeting people. I just kind of wanted to die.
Understood. All right.
Look at that. It's looking good.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this.
This is amazing for your first time ever drawing.
Well, I looked at a few tutorial videos and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's all it takes. I mean, if you can't wake up drawing like this, why even bother, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So were you already drawing when your friend turned you on to comics, or was that something that you just decided you wanted to be that part of the equation?
Yes, I was already drawing, and at that time, I thought I was going to be an animator. And God bless my 6th grade teacher soul. She was an amazing teacher. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Miss Paul, you the shit. More teachers should be like her. But she noticed her students and what they liked and what they were into, and she would specifically seek those things out to educate us about them. And she would, like, I was big into animation, we were all big into cartoons, so she got a video on animation, the process of animation, what it takes to do an animation. And like we were watching this and we were blown away. But then when they told me, or when they said, just to make a finger snap takes 1,200 drawings. I said, I'm out. I'm not drawing 1,200 times. No, that's too
Right.
much. We got to find something else. But I wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for Miss Paul seeking that out. And when we were when Tom and I were putting together this comic book business of ours, it slowly kind of infected other classmates. We had people doing coloring, we had people helping us put the books together for the production, and then I was drawing them, Tom was writing them. Like we had a little assembly line, and it got to the point where we had board meetings in the cafeteria at our lunch table about what we were doing. And Miss Paul picked up on this, and so she talked to the principal and got lunch like one day a week extended 10 minutes so we can have the shop in our classroom and different classrooms could come in and buy our books. She supplied candy and popcorn from the purchase too. And it would happen once a week. So everyone would come get the new issue of the X-Men that we made. And they would drop their quarter on there. They would buy some popcorn and they'd go back to class.
Amazing.
Like, who does that?
No, that's a phenomenal teacher.
Yeah, man. Wish there were more like her.
And here you are all these years later still talking about her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as a teacher, that's got to be like the most gratifying thing.
Oh, Maurice, thank you so much. Let me see here. David just gave me his socials. Let me get them in the chat, y'all. Yeah, man. I wish more teachers were like Miss Paul. It would help out so many different kids.
Yeah, I can tell you in high school, up until the time I reached my senior year, I had skated by on English projects as far as, you know, when they assign you to read a book, you could get away with reading the Cliff's Notes or whatever. And then that senior year, we had an English teacher, Mr. Carlin, who he made his tests so hard that if you didn't read the book, you would fail. Like you literally had to read it. It was as bad as like on page 74, this happened.
Mhm.
And it actually forced me to read a number of classics that I still love today and greatly influenced my desire to actually be a writer.
Sorry, I was talking to my kid. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. But yeah, like things like Catch-22, and it got me into understanding how much literature could do for you beyond just knowing the plot from reading a summary somewhere or watching the TV show or the movie. It takes someone like that. I mean, obviously your teacher had a great influence on your ability to actually do what you're doing.
Yeah. We had a teacher like yours that you said too, Miss Harvey. She was the teacher everyone's afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
And but she was the teacher that could be straightforward with you. She pulled no punches, and you couldn't be mad at her because she was being honest. She was calling things out. She was telling you exactly how it was, and that's how you needed to hear it. It's they're far and few in between.
Oh yeah. But did you know some people can't handle the directness?
They cannot. I have this thing at shows that I do where I'm like, let me see here. There we go. I have this thing at shows that I do where I'm like, I just stop people. Like I don't always I try to talk to a lot of people at shows, but I also don't try to sell to every single person that I talk to. I like engagement and conversation at these events, but randomly I'll kind of like just pick somebody randomly and ask them to stop and look at the table and tell me what catches their eye. But I always give them the disclaimer: you don't have to buy anything. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm asking for a random, unique opinion on because I saw you look at the table, but what drew your eye to the table and why? And that's kind of how like I use that to help me organize my table whenever I'm at shows.
Yeah, there you go. Get on the spot feedback.
And I think a lot of people are kind of afraid to talk to people at shows because they don't want to seem like they're annoying or a car salesman or anything like that. And I'm like, dude, it's a comic book convention. They knew what they were signing up for when they bought the ticket. You have a right to talk to these people. So talk to them.
Yep. Yep.
All
That's
right, I got this.
one of my hard things at shows is actually calling people over. I'm more of the wait for them to come, make eye contact, and then hope that they come see me.
Eye contact is very good. That is one of the things I for sure look for. But sometimes it can be easy as just like saying, dude, that shirt's dope. Where'd you get that from? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's about an energy. And when you talk to more people, not with the intention to sell and just a casual ha ha ha, I think that makes it easier for you when you do talk to somebody about selling something, because it kind of shakes the jitters off of you.
Yeah, of course. Yep. Keep it casual, light conversation.
Yeah, I forgot what I told this one lady. I was just talking to her, and I forgot what she had. I can't remember if it was a print or it was a shirt she had on, but we were just talking, and I was like, "All right, well, thanks for stopping by," and she was like, "Well, I'm here now, so tell me about this book." I was like, "All right." I literally was not trying to say anything, but now that you've activated my mode.
Yeah. So it worked. You had the casual conversation, then you parlayed it into a pitch.
Yes. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do for these. Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna these gloves, I really want to do the mass of it, kind of like the centerpiece. Let me see here. So I want to, oh, not that much. So I kind of want to fill this in with like a textured brush like that. Well, not like this brush. I'm gonna find one, but then I want to make this kind of like a fishnet.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't getting finished tonight.
I'll tell you what, you send me the high res file and I'll print it on a cover for you and send it to you to do whatever you want with.
Bet. That is a deal, sir.
Since I have my own printing press, so
that is correct. You do.
Hey, look, I just decided to do this today. This is an ash can edition.
Oh, nice.
See the ash can at the top?
Yeah. Nice.
So I have a friend attending. He's got a booth at New York Comic Con, so I'm gonna send him up a stack of those.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yep, and print up some postcards today too with the printer.
Maurice says Comic Con is like a show, and you're 18, the customer, and you have to live. You have to live the spotlight, and that's how that works for comic book artists or a comic book writer. Somebody just said they want an ash can.
I will definitely be making them available.
So what kind of writing program, what do you prefer to write in when you're writing your scripts? I like I use Google Docs.
I started out using Word, and then I got a program called Superscript that actually automatically formats the way I actually like to present it. So
really,
yeah, you hit Shift P and it gives you a new page. You hit lowercase p and it gives you panel 1, and then it stays in line. So if you put a colon after a word, it turns that into a dialogue.
Oh, how much is this app?
I think it was like $30.
Superscript?
Yeah, I've had it for years.
That's what I hate about writing scripts, is trying to keep it in the format that I like.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the private chat for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put her tattoos on here. Oh, this is going to be fun.
It's a boar and a dog, just so you know.
Thank you. I want to flesh that out a little bit more.
Actually, you might want to share that link in the chat because it looks like other people might want it too.
Oh, Michael Kingston in the building. What's up, man? Michael does an incredible wrestling comic book. Got a few issues of that. Got it. Also bought a couple issues for my brother as a birthday present for him because he's a big wrestling fan. Just dropped it in the chat for you, gentlemen. Oh, you're on Kickstarter right now? Go check out Michael Kingston. His book is good, and he has fantastic art for it. All right. So I'm gonna stop right here because I'm not happy with these legs. I want to work these legs out some more, and I know I want to use a different brush for her hair. And I'm going to probably save this as a layered file, drop it over Procreate. Procreate has a very nice feature that no other program that I've used has. So like if I make a circle like this and hold it, Procreate will perfect that circle.
Oh, nice.
It'll make it a perfect circle for me. Or if I want to do a curve, I hold it, it'll perfect the curve. And there's definitely like with the panty line and the heel and things like that, I want to get some of those like perfect curves for like the curvature. But I want it to stay natural with her skin.
I'll tell you what, when you're done, I'll send you 2 copies, one for you to keep and one for you to give away.
Thank you so much. Yes, he is, Maurice. Yes, he is. So look. All right, we're going to put it back in the chat. Skin Deep is happening right now. Let me copy it. Let me pull this back. Skin Deep is happening right now, and Concussion is happening as well. Let me get you.
And we have like 2 minutes for Travis, or I think he's the one ending at 9, right?
Yes. Yeah, I got 4 minutes over here for Travis. Right now, Travis is at $3,768 out of his $2,500 goal. 274 backers. That's what I'm talking about.
And Russell's at 291 backers and 4651.
Mm-hmm. Jamie just hit 203 backers. So we're going to put Jamie's in here too. Ben Sinister. I think these are all campaigns you should check out. We're going to get Frank in here, the last one. Yeah, Mike, I think you are. I saw you mention that earlier. And we got Cannibal. All right, so we got all the links for these campaigns happening now. You got 4 minutes to get on Travis's campaign as he's about to get ready to end. 55 minutes left on Russell's campaign. And then the rest of us have a few more days. David and I have about, let me see here.
I went long on this one.
Oh, you got what, 20 days left?
24. I'm going until after New York Comic Con.
Okay. Dave's got 24 days left. I've got 16 days left on mine. Last Supper has 4 days to go. And Ben Sinister has 11 days to go. So we have, and like I said, we have a lot of cool stuff. I think each group, each book has a unique thing on their campaign. Like, for example, on our campaign, I remember that every hospital I went to, they had pins with the hospital logo on there. So we got pins for our hospice with the hospice logo on there. Just cool little short things like that that play up on the hospice aspect of things. that we think you would all get a kick out of. And this is a shared horror universe. I don't know how many people are actually going to continue on with their books, but I can tell you from our end, our characters in Hospice Concussion will be seen again throughout the Freestyle Comics universe. But this campaign and how successful it is will dictate if they'll be seen in their own, own comic book. But either way it goes, we're still going to use these characters because we've got ideas that we want to do with them. And I'm very excited about getting David's book. I'm excited about getting them all, and just seeing all the creativity that we've done with this Hospice universe. Now, I have 3 rules, as you guys all know. Rule number 1, back the campaign. Help us out. If that's something that you can do, please do it. If you are tight on funds and you're like, well, man, all I can give is $1, but don't nobody want $1. We want the $1.
We want the dollar. We want the backer.
Yeah, we absolutely want that $1. We are not offended by it. We will take that $1. The more
we appreciate the support.
There it goes right there. And if you are not able to spend any money on it because funds are tight, I understand that and I respect it. Giving a share is just as important as pledging money. So if you can do any of those things, it'd be much appreciated. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. This week on Chat and Draw on a regular day, I don't have a guest schedule. We will be drawing. I'm going to start drawing Hot Shot 13 on here for you guys. So you're going to get to start to see a sneak peek of that. And then next week, we do have our guest schedule on Wednesday or whatnot. But looking forward to it. I want to thank the chat for hanging out with us. I want to thank David for coming on. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, follow, all that social media stuff, because we have a ton of content, like 265 episodes, y'all. We got a lot of stuff on this YouTube page for you to check out. But I will check you later. Thank you for tuning in.
I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should